Hi, I am Dr. Kim Sage. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. Welcome to this channel where we are just really all about helping understand the wounds we often carry as a result of our childhoods. As I've shared that I did have a complicated childhood myself, and it's really the reason why I'm making these videos. Sometimes I start to compare myself and I think, well, what am I doing and why am I doing this? But the truth is, I always think that I wish I had something like this to watch when I was in my, maybe adolescent years, when I was in my early years of losing a parent and living with my very unhealthy and unsafe borderline mother, who I also loved very much, but had a very toxic relationship with. One who, when I got married, when I was in my marriage, it was like all of this childhood stuff I struggled with was playing out. And I had a master's degree through the marriage part and still did not fully understand what happened to me. And so I made this video earlier and I'm remaking it now and making it shorter because I think I want to really get to the heart of it. If you're new here, really quickly, please consider subscribing and please check out the links down below for the courses I've created specifically for you if you were raised by what may have been an untreated, borderline, narcissistic, or emotionally immature type parent. On any level where you walked on eggshells and or felt like you were loved conditionally, there was parentification, criticism, enmeshment, all of that. What I want to talk about today really quickly is some of the beliefs we carry that I want you to think about as you go into this next week and ask yourself if you're doing these things. These belief systems often form as a result of the verbal communication we receive as a parent saying, you're a selfish brat, you're so spoiled, you don't love me, you don't care about me. Coming to us with all their emotional problems, expecting us to take care of them emotionally or physically. They can come from nonverbal communication, where a parent is giving us the silent treatment or slamming cabinet doors or, rage cleaning. Everything that happens to us, we make meaning from. And then we grow up and start to just live these lives, most of us until now in this last few years and all this talk about trauma, is we just think that this is who we are. And we don't understand that so much of who we are is an adaptive response to our experiences, especially, I believe, the relational trauma, the places that can hurt us so much because, who knows that, it's wrong for a parent to be a certain way if your parent was just always that way. I had no idea until my master's degree and I was like, wait, that's not normal? Or, I knew things were kind of outside the box, but I had no real idea about what happened. And so I really want to make these videos for you in a way that you say, oh my gosh, I'm realizing this did happen to me or it's happening to me now. It also can come, the messages really quickly, from the discipline you receive, the way you're treated by a parent, the things they say to you or how they punish you, things like that. The first thing is that we basically develop a belief system that we are somehow a burden, that having needs, having boundaries, having emotions, that somehow just inherently we are a burden. And so we apologize when we cry. We say we're sorry for having needs. We go out of our way to not have any needs so that we are not a burden to our partners or really to anyone. The second thing we do is feel that we are selfish, that oftentimes these parents will tell us it's not all about you and you're so selfish and I do everything for you. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of your job as a parent to do things for us. But we believe that deep down inside, we think, well, maybe it is selfish for me to want something for myself, to, as a mom, take care of myself. And so we neglect ourselves time and time again, and then feel bad and wrong and selfish for even having needs in the first place. The next thing we do is we believe that everything is our fault because we've often been told it's our fault. You're the reason why I'm, upset today, or you put me in a bad mood, or whatever it is. And so we start to believe that no one else is really accountable, and we let things slide, right? We often we overdo, we overcompensate because we don't want it to be our fault. But deep down inside, we believe that it is. And so people get away with a lot of things because it's always our fault. We don't hold others accountable, including our children as they grow, or our partners, our co-workers, whatever. The next thing we do is that we basically believe we're only worthy when we are doing, when we are performing and delivering. That's part of that whole, kind of avoidant often dynamic or narcissistic dynamic with a parent, is that we are an extension of them. And so if we are succeeding at something, it only matters if the parent who is conditional sees it and they also think it matters. And so that affects our own sense of worthiness and how we find worthiness, and how we often feel like we're either a success or a failure. There's often no gray area for us. The last thing we do, as I've talked a lot about in videos, is we truly believe oftentimes that deep inside at our core, there's just something wrong with us and we are bad or unworthy or unlovable. Now, many of us will present like this, and you would never guess through our confidence or the way we are with our kids, maybe, that we are different kinds of parents, but that deep inside, when it really goes down to it, and it's even hard to get to sometimes, but there's some belief that we deserved something bad to happen, like, of course I didn't get the life I wanted, or of course, like, I can't pick the right person or get the love I deserve because there's something defective about me. And that really connects to everything I just said, kind of like a spider web. That is the center. What I want to say to you right now is that if you resonated with anything I said, I really want you to notice this week when you feel like you are trying to set a boundary or ask for what you need, when you tend to blame yourself and say, oh, well, it's my fault, X, Y, and Z didn't happen, when really it's like, is it? You can only do so much. When you start to not ask for time for yourself, when you're neglecting your health appointments, when you don't ever give yourself a break, when it's just always this mounting pressure to be something that you're not. I want you to notice when you feel it in your body, what that feels like, and then what do you do with that? Do you distract? Do you numb? Do you avoid? Do you binge, eat, drink, sleep, whatever it is? What do you say or not to people when you're trying to express a need? What do you say or not to yourself when you feel a need? Just pay attention to where you're going around right now. And this is going to happen in relationship to the closest people in your life, more than anyone else. That's the place where we often deny ourselves the most. But I would argue it's the place we most deserve to bring ourselves into. And the people around us most deserve to see that part of ourselves as well. But if we are feeling like a burden and always guilty and at fault, we also show up with a wall. And that really can be that kind of disorganized attachment where we feel anxiety because we want to be good and perfect and loved, but also terrified of like it being too much and us needing to sort of regulate alone like we did in childhood, or deal with the feelings of being a burden or a failure. So what I want to leave you with is noticing all of these things through, setting boundaries and speaking up for yourself and learning how to communicate your needs and honoring that inner child, as I've talked about in that course on remothering, learning how to not just talk to yourself, but set up your life in a way that says you are worthy. That is where the evidence is. That is the proof in the pudding, right? It's like you can say it all day long, but if I looked at your life, where would I see that you believe that you matter? And the hard part about all of this is that if we don't learn to tolerate everyone else, meaning our family, our partners, our bosses, that sometimes they're going to be unhappy with us because our parents were unhappy with us. And we're scrambling as adults, trying as fast as we can to not feel that you can tolerate and learn to hold other people's unhappiness when you set a boundary, speak up for yourself, hold them accountable. That's part of this whole thing too, is that you already feel bad, and so you don't want to ever hold anyone's bad feelings because you did it so much in childhood. But I am telling you that you can do both. You can learn to tolerate people's feelings, but not have to take them on. But you have to lead with caring for yourself and setting up your life in a way that says you are worthy. It's not all your fault. You are lovable, right? You have so much beauty and joy to give, but it doesn't have to always go to the opposite, which is that there's something wrong with you that prevents you from being and doing and feeling those things. I would love for you to post down below in the comments ways to hold each other accountable with this, or ideas or thoughts about where you do this, because the truth is, until we really know it, if I had heard this and thought, I'm going to think about how I'm denying myself, maybe my life would have changed in some ways earlier that I believe would have been helpful. Maybe it wouldn't have. But I truly believe that knowledge is power. And so I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you so much for, even this week I was struggling today to remake this video and reminding myself about why I'm here and what I want to do and what I believe my purpose is. So please feel free to subscribe if you're new and check out other videos, but whatever you do, just know that I'm grateful that you're here and I wish you well. Please stay safe and well, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.